Hi guys, it's Vicky Vice and I'm back and I'm so excited. You have no idea. I have so much excitement and invigoration for starting my channel over again and really diving back into things that fuel me and make me feel happy. So really quickly before we jump into everything, I'm gonna just give a little update. So I have gone through a lot, I've changed a lot. I am basically a brand new person and I am just so excited to be sharing all of my love and all of my joy and all of my talents and creativity with you, and also life experience, because in the fact that I've gone through a lot, I've learned so much about life, and I've hard-earned wisdom is hard-earned for a reason. But I feel like I want to share that because I've said this on my channel before. My mom has always said that your test is your testimony. And so if I have to go through something, and if I'm living through something, and if I can share something that will help someone or invigorate them or make them feel brand new or give them some advice that'll make them feel better, that is something that I want to do. So I'm very excited to be here with you and to be sharing this with you, because this isn't just my channel anymore. I want it to be something that is shared between you and I want it to be something that lives through you and I, where you're commenting and you're talking to me and I'm talking back, because I'm not afraid of you and you're not afraid of me, and we're friends and we're cool and it's all copacetic and fun, and this is just real. And for the first time in my YouTube channel, I feel like I'm really me, and it feels good. So with all of that being said, let's get into the video. Today we are talking about therapy. I wouldn't be here without therapy. Let's just be real. And I wouldn't be here with you if it weren't for therapy. So I'm gonna be crocheting today because I am starting something new on this channel where I don't just do makeup anymore, and I don't just do vlogs anymore. I do things that feed me and sustain me, because I am a multifaceted person with my own universe and my own loves and my own dreams and things that I like to do that make me feel fulfilled and sustained. And so I want to share that with you, because maybe you'll see me doing something that sparks an interest or curiosity in you, that makes something come alive, and then you to set on this path of self-actualization and creativity. So that's what I want to share with you. So today I'm going to be crocheting. I've been crocheting for 20 years. I've been crocheting since I was 8 years old. My friend Mercy actually taught me. She taught me how to crochet, and I have been doing it ever since, on and off. So we're going to be talking about therapy today while I crochet this scarf that I've been working on. It's a patchwork scarf. I'm probably going to put in a picture of what I am trying to achieve with this, not even a pattern, but like a loose pattern of something that I've thought up in my head. And also, I just really wanted to quickly announce things are changing on this channel, because I have a producer, and I wanted to introduce her really quickly. She's not going to be on camera today, but I wanted her to say hi. So say hi, Nikki.
Hello, everybody.
I have my sister on as my producer, and we've been dreaming of doing this for such a long time. Not just my YouTube channel, not even my YouTube channel, but we've been dreaming of working together for such a long time, and we've been working together on individual projects and dreaming up projects, and that's the name of our production company, actually. So we're excited. I'm excited that she's on my channel, so that I have a producer and someone who I can really vibe with, and someone who knows me and can really see the vision of where this channel can go and where it's going. And it's not just me feeling like I have to steer the ship. I feel like I have some relief, and I can, you know, actually have fun with the community as well. So we're going to be talking about therapy today, and I'm excited to be talking about therapy today. So I've been in therapy for a long time, girl, let me tell you. I've been in therapy since I was, I want to say 7 years old, and that was brought on by trauma. So trigger warning for death. I lost my father at a very young age when I was 7 years old. And that brought on a lot of questions about my existence. And so I really struggled with understanding how someone could be here one day and gone the next, right? And when you're 7 years old and it happens to someone that's so close to you, you have a lot of questions. And sometimes your mommy and your big sister can't answer all of those questions because they're also going through the trauma of losing that person as well. So it was something that my mom put my sister and I in at a very young age because we had a lot of questions. It was bringing up a lot of feelings, and understandably so, professional help was needed. And that is great for my mom that in the early 2000s, she was able to have us equip our tool belts with something that was going to help us be successful, because I don't think I would have been successful in school because I have ADHD, and we wouldn't have found that out had I not gone to therapy at a young age. And also because my sister has ADHD, and so that also runs in families. We wouldn't have known that that runs in families had it not been for a great pediatrician, but also a great therapist. So I think it's important that, especially if trauma is something that is happening within your life or within your situation or someone you know's life, recommend therapy or go to therapy yourself, because therapy to deal with trauma can be something that is so beneficial. I don't even want to say can be, it is so beneficial. And I've heard so many different types of trauma therapy, and it's very interesting because I wouldn't have understood how my brain works, or that, this is something that sounds really weird, but like I wouldn't have understood that my brain really works well had it not been for therapy and understanding my thought processes and really identifying what it is that I'm feeling in the moments that I'm feeling them. Because a lot of the time we understand that we are feeling something, yes, but we can't really put a name or a face to what we are feeling. And I have been able to do that throughout periods of my life, and really access my thought processes and why am I feeling this way. But sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees, right? And so it's very interesting for me, because when I was 15 years old, I started developing a lot of anxiety. So I had already struggled mildly with depression. However, I hadn't really had issues with anxiety, and this was something that started plaguing my life. I recently got into contact again with my teenage best friend, and we both had like anxiety issues, and so it was very interesting to see how we both were and how we are now, since both being in therapy, going to therapy consistently in our lives, and getting those tools. Because when I was 14, 15, when I said I had anxiety, I mean I couldn't go to school, I couldn't go to the grocery store, I couldn't go to church. And let me tell you, I loved school, I loved church, I loved the grocery store, and I loved all of those things because they were moments where I felt like I could find community. And so feeling like I no longer had a sense of community, and feeling like I had to exile myself from community to keep myself safe and to keep my body safe, because that's how my anxiety presented, was that I would feel like I was in harm's way, or I would feel like something was going to hurt me or harm me. And so I, avoided the situations, and I made sure that I didn't go to those places because I wanted to make sure that I was safe and keeping my body, mind, spirit, everything safe. And so I personally just didn't go. And I ended up going to therapy because I was like, I need to make it so that I can actually function. I need to make it so that I can actually live. I need to make it so that I can actually have a successful life. I personally just made it so that I had the support system that I could have. So when I was a kid, I went to therapy with my mom and my sister to talk to them and with the therapist about our feelings because, again, being a child, I was very young. I didn't know how to access my feelings, and I was also a very shy and scared child. And so I didn't want to go talk to strangers about how I was feeling. So it really helped me feel more comfortable because my mom and my sister were in the room with me. But then there would be pull-out time where my sister would talk to her therapist and I would talk to my therapist, and my mom would be in the lobby and we'd be able to actually talk alone about our feelings. And, it was very helpful because it was something that made me feel like I had my own space, but like I was also in a safe space. I will say vetting your therapist is so important, and that's something my mom always did, was making sure that we went to therapists that were able to see who we were, not have biases towards us for ethnic or cultural differences or anything like that, but also that they understood that we were children, and we were children who had understood loss, and children who had understood trauma. And so that was something that was really good for us as small children who were going to therapy. But in my teenagehood, I went to therapy with my mom as well because, again, I had really bad anxiety. So even leaving the house to go to therapy sometimes was a struggle. So it was like my mom would sit in there with me, and then there would be time where I would talk to my therapist, and there would be time to pull out. So by the time that I was in adulthood, I had never vetted my own therapist before. I had never done the searching for a therapist, scouring of the internet that comes with trying to find a therapist, especially in this day and age, let me tell you. But it's so good to take that ownership for yourself. Or there are also resources that you can go to that are online that, have like full breakdowns of these different therapists. Like I personally have used Psychology Today, and I'm not going to use that as a reference because I don't want to put anyone's name on that I haven't fully vetted, but that's who I've used. I found my therapist, my current therapist, through Psychology Today, and it was wonderful. However, I found my first adulthood therapist through my insurance company, and that was a nightmare. And that ended up being bad, and I had to fire her, and I had never had to get rid of a therapist before. Every single time that I had left a therapist or a relationship with a therapist that ended, it would be because I had moved or they had ended at the practice, or I had graduated or something like that. It was never I had bad compatibility with a therapist and had to end the relationship. So that is something that you might have to keep in mind when thinking about therapy, is making sure that the fit is good, making sure that the person that you are consulting for your mental health will be good for your mental health. Now I'm going to say that one again. Making sure that the person you consult for your mental health is good for your mental health. Because I didn't have a good relationship with my first adulthood therapist, and it showed in my actions and in the way that I saw myself and my progress. And if you're not seeing progress, you're not making progress with therapy. If you're not seeing the actions and the change of, I want to change my behaviors to, and at least with cognitive behavioral therapy, I want to change my behaviors to become someone who can improve my station, or improve the way that I think, or my processes, or whatever it may be. then that's not good compatibility and you need to leave that relationship. So anyway, I found my current therapist when I was 24. I'm now 28. 24? 24. Yes. I found her when I was 24. I'm now 28. And I think that I have grown so much and exponentially in the years that I've seen her. And I've grown so much and grown exponentially in the years that I've gone to a therapist that was a good match for me. And that's the thing, is you need to find someone who is a good match for you, and someone that resonates with you. So with that being said, I've crocheted a lot so far. It might not look like a lot, but this is a good amount. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things really quickly. So the first thing that I want to talk about that I've learned in therapy is coping strategies. So I've learned a lot of coping strategies in therapy, like breathing techniques. I've learned things about looking at the situation in a different perspective and really having that perspective change to make it so that it's not as bad and so that I can move through the situations that I'm dealing with instead of letting those situations rule over me. So those are a couple of things that I've learned with coping strategies. I think that it is important to remember that that is not the end all be all. But it can definitely help, like changing the way that you look at things can help sometimes moving through it. But if you're not changing the way that you are, it doesn't make a difference. So you need to really have that kind of, kind of have that viewpoint, so that's one thing I've learned. I've done a lot of inner child healing in my adulthood by going to therapy. Realizing that the things that happened to me helped me become who I am, but I didn't always deserve the things that happened to me. Like, nobody deserves to lose a parent when they're young, but you move through it and you see through it and you find perspective and kind of heal your heart through that. And that's my personal story. It's definitely different for everyone. Everyone's story is different, but I can only speak to what I know. So identifying and acknowledging my own feelings. So I always, like I said earlier, had a trouble naming the feeling. Like, I could say that I'm angry, but what does that necessarily mean? Why am I angry? So my current therapist shared something with me that has changed a lot of the way that I see things, like with feelings, that a lot of things are an iceberg. So if you don't know what an iceberg is, obviously an iceberg is the formation of ice. That is like a big formation in Earth, right? However, an iceberg is also something that is it could be very shallow up top, but so deep and like pervasive and massive underneath the surface. And it's sometimes not always what it seems at the surface, and there are reasons why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. So it's important to identify what is the root, what is the bigger feeling that I'm feeling, and how do I move through that. So that's been really interesting to be able to acknowledge as well. Also, boundaries. I had horrible boundaries before I started going to therapy and realizing that not everyone is deserving of your time, not everyone is deserving of your energy, not everyone is deserving of your resources, and vice versa. You don't deserve everyone's time, you don't deserve everyone's energy, you don't deserve everyone's resources. So having the balance in that and being able to come out of it and be someone who is more respectful of people and respectful of yourself. At the end of the day, the most important thing is being respectful of yourself. The next thing I learned is how to prioritize self-care. So self-care was something that I, have always struggled with, because when you have anxiety and depression, sometimes you don't feel like it's worth it. You don't feel like you're worth it. And that is so not the truth. That is so the opposite of how it is. But again, you can't always see the forest through the trees. So learning how to prioritize self-care even when I feel like I don't deserve it is something that has been revolutionary for me, let me tell you. Revolutionary for me. Something that is a little bit more niche, but very important for me is reality testing. So reality testing, as I understand it, is seeing, okay, what is the situation that I'm feeling, and is that the truth? Like, what is the rest? What are the context clues? What are the context clues telling me about the situation? And can I believe what I'm feeling? So here's my thing. I have an issue with feeling like everybody hates me. And that comes from a, history of an abusive relationship. And I would, not like to dive too deep into that right now. But with that being said, I have a feeling like everyone always hates me, which I know isn't the truth, because I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of family that love me and care about me. And so I am very grateful to have those people in my life. But with that being said, I sometimes try to make sure that, like, I'm not overstepping or interfering with their boundaries, or I don't want people to hate me because they think I'm blowing up their phone or annoying or whatever. So then I just don't talk to people. And then people are like, why isn't homegirl talking to me? And then so I just think I have to work through my own issues with thinking that people hate me. So it's like, are they texting me back? Yes. Well, if they're always texting you back, why would you think that they hate you? That's one. Have you done anything to that person to make them hate you? Have you said any negative words towards them? Have you had any negative actions or negative interactions with them? Have you done anything that would fracture the relationship? Well, no. Well, then why would you think that somebody hates you? People don't just automatically be like, you know what, I really hate this person today, so I'm just going to start hating them. That doesn't necessarily happen. So I have to reality test and make sure that I am aware, because I don't want my trauma to creep in and make it so that I am damaging relationships further and not having those valuable people in my life and isolating myself. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to make sure I don't do that moving forward also. And the final thing is how to break past limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs for me look like feeling like I can't, for instance, do YouTube or do this because of the feeling like it's too much, or I can't do it, or I'm not good enough, or people aren't going to want to watch it, or whatever it may be. And breaking past that and doing it the fuck anyway. Doing it anyway. Like, that's my thing now, is like, I want to do what I do and do it well and care about what I do, but also do it in my own way and break past those limiting beliefs of I have to do it a certain way for it to be valid, or I have to run a certain amount of miles for it to matter, or you know what I mean? So it's like things like that, and breaking past that feeling of I have to be or present a certain way for it to be real. And it doesn't have to be that way. So I am done with this part of the scarf. I am just so excited with how this is turning out, and I'm so glad that you decided to come along on this journey with me today. And if you enjoyed it, make sure that you let me know. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to, but I would like to hear from you. So comment on what your favorite hobby is. Maybe we have some overlapping hobbies and we can share that together on my channel next week. So I really hope to hear from you soon. But till the next time, stay kind, keep creating, take care of you, and I will see you very, very, very soon. Bye.